Despite mounting international sanctions, North Korea continued to develop its nuclear program.
나는 북한이 돌아올 수 없는 다리를 건너지 않기를 바랍니다. 북한은 핵과 미사일 개발을 포기하고 국제사회와 협력할 수 있는 길을 찾아야 합니다. 완전하고 검증 가능하며 불가역적인 한반도 비핵화는 국제사회의 일치된 요구이자 한반도 평화를 위한 절대 조건입니다. 한반도 비핵화를 위한 결단만이 북한의 안전을 보장하는 길이라는 뜻입니다.
The world feared a nuclear war on the Korean Peninsula.
국가와 마음을 같이 하며 대표단 파견을 포함하여 필요한 조치를 취할 용의가 있으며 이를 위해 북남 당국이 시급히 만날 수도 있을 것입니다.
Then, unexpectedly, the South and North began to meet. And in the spring of 2018, came news that surprised everyone.
남과 북은 4월 말 판문점 평화의 집에서 제3차 남북 정상회담을 개최하기로 하였으며
The leaders of South and North Korea met for the first time in 9 years. It had been a long winter of 70 years. Was the Cold War finally coming to an end?
오늘 김정은 위원장과 나는 완전한 비핵화를 통해 핵 없는 한반도를 실현하는 것이 우리의 공동 목표라는 것을 확인했습니다.
Is the threat of nuclear war over? Will there be a spring of peace? Or will it be another Indian winter? The answer is yet unknown. The road will not be easy. There have been unexpected storms at every turn. Five months went by, and finally, on September 18th, the promise of another meeting was kept. This time, the summit was in Pyeongyang. At Panmunjom, the meeting itself was enough to attract global attention. But the third time around, there was much more at stake. President Moon Jae-in and Chairman Kim Jong-un, would they be able to present the world with a new future called peace?
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un appeared at about 9:30 South Korean time for his historic meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in.
The leaders of South and North Korea met on April 27, 2018 at Panmunjom.
The very fact of the summit was definitely good news. The very fact that this meeting happened did contribute to the reduction of pretty high chances which used to be pretty high in 2017 of a military confrontation in Korea.
한 10여 년 대화가 끊긴 상태에서 진행된 남북 정상회담이기 때문에 당시 정상회담의 의미는 이제 신뢰 회복, 그러니까 서로의 속생각을 듣고 앞으로 남북 관계를 어떻게 풀어갈 것인가에 대한 큰 그림을 그리는 이제 회담의 성격을 갖고 있다고 보고요. 두 정상이 허물없이 대화하고 산책도 같이 하고 그러면서 아주 구체적인 성과를 내긴 좀 어렵지만 큰 틀에서 앞으로 남북 관계를 어떻게 서로 회복해 가고 평화 정착을 위해서 어떤 노력을 할 것인가에 대해서는 굉장히 의미 있는 진전을 이룬 회담이었다.
그 문재인 대통령님하고 이제 얘기를 하다가 먼 곳에서 우리가 어렵사리 평양에서부터 평양 냉면을 가지고 왔는데 이거 먼 데서 왔다 길면 안 되겠구나. 근데 그 말에 저는 일단 50%는 저는 내려놨어요. 왜냐하면 30대 한 나라를 가지고 가면서 외부에 보여줘야 되는 그런 이미지가 있었기 때문에 어쩌면 그걸 많이 보여왔지 않았을까 이런 생각도 좀 했고 그러니까 그냥 우리와 같은 사람이라는 느낌이 조금 들었어요.
The Panmunjom Declaration was announced.
오늘 김정은 위원장과 나는 완전한 비핵화를 통해 핵 없는 한반도를 실현하는 것이 우리의 공동 목표라는 것을 확인했습니다.
판문점 선언은 이전 남북 사이의 합의문들을 대체로 복원하는 의미가 있고, 그 다음에 이제 그 남북 관계의 그 개선 발전 그런 내용들을 합의문에 대체로 담고 있는데, 그 중에서도 고위급 그 회담 등을 통해서 그 대화를 계속 이어나갔다라든가, 또 이산가족 상봉, 체육 문화 교류 이런 부분에서는 상당한 성과가 있었다고 볼 수 있겠습니다.
I think North and South Koreas have focused on the relationship itself rather than peace treaty and denuclearization, which is really much more controlled by U.S. and North Korea rather than two Koreas. So we done a lot of measures to do some improvement in the relationship. For example, reunion of separate family issues, having some athletic games like basketball or soccer games, entered together to the Asian Games and so forth.
Well, since the April summit, the two Koreas have taken a lot of steps and measures to reset their relations, and we've seen that play out in quite a bit of detail. And so we're looking at the two Koreas headed towards a direction of reconciliation and trying to really normalize their relations.
I think that it is an impressive and important first step to resolve the crisis and conflict on the Korean Peninsula peacefully. So I think it's very important to know that this is just the first step, not a final step of the peace process on the Korean Peninsula.
What change did the Panmunjom Declaration bring? The first to see change were railway projects that had been in preparation since 2002.
그 경의선, 동해선 남북 간의 접경 지역에서의 그 철도 상태는 상당히 양호한 것으로 그렇게 판정이 났고요. 실제로 남북 간의 합의만 본다면은 내일이라도 사실 경의선 통해서 저희가 서울에서 출발해서 평양, 그리고 또 신의를 통해서 북경도 갈 수가 있고요. 또 북경을 통해서 모스크바, 유럽까지 철도로 연결할 수 있는 그런 현재 상황이라고 저희들이 판단하고 있습니다.
핵심이었습니다. 경의선과 경운선의 출발지였던 용산에서 저는 오늘 동북아 6개국과 미국이 함께하는 동아시아 철도 공동체를 제안합니다. 이 공동체는 우리의 경제 지평을 국방 대륙까지 넓히고 동북아 상생 번영의 대동맥이 되어 동아시아 에너지 공동체와 경제 공동체로 이어질 것입니다.
우리가 부산이나 서울에서 출발해서 평양이나 또는 블라디보스톡을 거쳐서 모스크바까지 유럽으로 화물을 보낼 경우에는 해운으로 운송을 할 경우에는 현재 약 30일 이상이 소요가 됩니다. 하지만 철도로 운송할 경우에는 2주면 충분하기 때문에 이런 운송 시간을 절반 이하로 단축할 수 있는 그런 어떤 길이 열리는 것이죠. 특히 한반도 신경제 구상의 그 중요한 전략 중에 하나가 환황의 경제벨트, 그리고 환동의 경제벨트, 그리고 남북 간의 어떤 접경 지역의 평화벨트가 되겠습니다. 환황의 경제벨트의 중심축은 경의선이고요. 환동의 경제벨트의 중심축은 동해선이 되겠습니다. 사실 이 경의선과 동해선을 축으로 해서 다양한 형태의 경제개발구라든가 또는 관광특구를 우리가 조성을 할 수 있을 텐데요.
경제로 연결된다는 상징적 의미가 있는 게 철도 연결이 아닌가 생각합니다. 다 우리 국민들의 어떤 향수가 있고요. 우리 송기정 선수가 그 시베리아 철도를 타고 36년 베를린 올림픽에 참석을 했고요. 우리 네덜란드 헤이그 밀사가 그 철도를 타고 갔다 그러니까 100년이 넘은 거잖아요. 그래서 이 철도를 다시 복원시키는 게 상징적 의미가 크다고 생각합니다.
North Korea took its first step toward denuclearization. It blew up the Punggye-ri nuclear test site with international journalists in attendance.
It's not just a technical process of disarmament and ultimately denuclearization. It's a political process of fundamentally changing these relationships, and that's something that takes time. You can't do it overnight.
그러니까 무슨 이거는 있어도 되고 없어도 되거나 아니라 핵 개발은 필수적인 무기였지 않았을까 싶어요. 왜냐하면 전 세계가 지금 북한을 쪼이잖아요. 그러면 그 안에서 쉽게 외부와 이제 융합을 못하고 이제 닫아낸 상태에서 사는 북한으로서는 강력한 그 맞대응이 있어야 될 거라고 보거든요. 그러니까 그 강력한 맞대응이 핵 개발이에요. 한반도 중에서도 반으로 잘린 북한을 미국이라는 거대한 국가가 함부로 다치지 못하고 있는 이유가 핵 때문이다. 그러니까 핵은 우리의 생명이다. 이런 걸 사람들한테 다 주입을 시켰고.
Freed from UN economic sanctions, inter-Korean sports exchanges also gained traction.
앞에 북치는 애가 저희는 안 보이니까 저희는 북소리에 맞춰서 하잖아요. 손을 번쩍 들더라고요. 이렇게 양손을. 그래서 제가 딱 보고 금메달이구나 하고 이제 다 같이 좋아하고 나와서 이제 안고 울었죠. 처음에는 울었죠. 너무 다 같이 고생해서 딴 거니까. 근데 그 동생들도 너무 고생했다고 지금까지 우리가 열심히 한 보람이 있는 것 같다. 그래서 제가 저희끼리 이게 같은 한 나라였으면 얼마나 좋았겠냐. 근데 지금은 이렇게 나중에는 꼭 한 민족이 다시 그러니까 뭉쳐서 더 했으면 좋겠다 이런 얘기도 하고 그냥 잘했다라고 우리가 한 대로 연습한 대로 됐다라는 말을 많이 했던 것 같아요.
Separated families were allowed reunions for the first time since 2015. Most of them are in their 70s or more.
I think one significant activity or accomplishment really was the reunion of separated family members because most of these members are in such old age and their dying wish has always been to be able to meet their family member in the north or in the south for the last time. And so this really, from a humanitarian standpoint, is something that's very important to do.
이산 가족들을 상봉시킨다면 탈북민 가족들도 상봉 가족 대열에 얼마든지 들어갈 수 있는 그런 조건인데 당장 통일은 아니더라도 고향 방문, 그러니까 저희가 고향에 갈 때는 빈손으로는 안 갈 거잖아요. 다만 고향을 위해서 뭔가를 하려고 했거든요. 그런 의미에서 고향 방문이라든가 이런 게 좀 이루어졌으면 좋겠다.
The reopening of the Joint Liaison Office that was shut down in 2010 was another significant development from the Panmunjom Declaration.
개성의 남북 연락사무소가 개소되면 그 연락사무소를 중심으로 해서 상시적으로 서로 상의하고 협의할 수 있는 채널을 확보하게 되는 거 아니겠습니까? 따라서 저는 남북 정상이 합의한 내용 이외에도 수시로 그 연락 채널을 통해서 그때그때 할 수 있는 사업들을 만들어낼 수 있다고 봅니다.
유엔 모든 기구들이 다 평양에서 지금까지 남아 있는데, 그리고 평양의 각 대사관, 영국 대사관을 비롯해서 유럽 국가들의 대사관, 영사관이 운영되고 있는데 우리 큰 남과 북이 연락사무소 차리는 것을 가지고 유엔 제재 위반이라고 내부에서 논의하는 우리 현실이 안타까운 거죠.
Unfortunately, the reopening of the Kaesong Industrial Complex, another point of agreement in the Panmunjom Declaration, still has a long way to go.
미국이 반대하고 유엔 제재 대상이라고 그래서 개성공단 재개는 둘째 문제고 우리 기업인들의 방북도 아직 허용이 안 되고 있잖아요. 그러니까 참 안타까운 현실입니다.
2004년도에 우리가 개성공단이 우리가 만들어져 가지고 지금에 이르고 있지 않습니까? 그때 당시에도 핵실험은 있었거든요. 그러니까 핵실험은 핵미사일은 개성공단 사업하고는 이제 예외적인 어떤 걸로 이렇게 진행이 되어져 온 거예요. 최근까지도. 그런다라고 볼 때 오히려 개성공단이나 이런 경협 사업으로 인해 가지고 북한의 어떤 변화된 그런 상황으로 이끌어낼 수 있는, 어떻게 보면 비핵화를 갖다 앞당길 수 있는 그런 장치라고도 볼 수 있는 것이거든요.
What is noteworthy is that there is change being felt within North Korea.
So unfortunately, I've only been 3 times. Once in 2009 and twice this year. Compared to 2009, it's a different country. So Pyeongyang is a massive construction site. There are many, many new buildings. I also went to Wonsan while I was there, and there's obviously a big construction operation going on there. There's a lot of new shops. There's a lot of activity that I didn't see in 2009. Many more people on the street, people going places, seemingly doing things. And people are obviously much better fed than they were in 2009.
일단은 거기가 이 전투적인 구호가 다 없어졌으니까 반핵, 반미, 선군 정치 이런 게 없어지고 주로 경제에 관한 것, 자력 경생, 우리 식대로 살아가자, 김정은 위원장 결사웅이 이런 거, 김매기 전투를 끝내자 그런 거라서 확실히 경제 구호로 싹 바뀌었다라는 느낌이 들었습니다.
주민들은 일단 당장 통일되는 것처럼 이렇게 생각을 해요. 그리고 뭔가 교류가 갑자기 이제 내일이라도 이루어질 것처럼 이런 희망을 좀 가졌던 것 같고요. 자부심이 업그레이드 된 것 같아요. 우리는 자원이 많다. 그리고 그 강한 경제력을 가지고 있는 기술 국인 대한민국하고 우리가 하면 우리는 또 군사력도 발전했고 우리가 하나로 합쳐지면 미국 저리 가라다. 그런 말을 제가 물어도 안 봤는데 막 이제 얘기를 하는 거예요. 그런 게 아마 초기 이제 남북 정상회담이 이루어졌을 때 그랬던 것 같아요.
The historic summit of April sowed the seeds of hope in the two Koreas. Will the seeds grow?
Just hours ago at 10 a.m. Korea time, we witnessed a new moment in history as North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump met face-to-face for the very first time.
A sudden frost set in, dashing hopes for a historic meeting between the United States and North Korea.
I'd like to begin by saying that Based on the recent statement of North Korea, I have decided to terminate the planned summit in Singapore on June 12th. I believe that this is a tremendous setback for North Korea and indeed a setback for the world.
At that time, the reason that he canceled the summit meeting was because of North Korea's, nuances and attitudes towards the United States, which was very negative. Criticized the United States a lot before the summit meeting, which, from the Trump's perspective and also the people in the cabinet of the Trump government, was very much annoyed. I mean, is this really a right attitude of North Korea before having a summit meeting? I mean, before summit meeting, there have to be a lot of efforts by two countries to make a summit very successful, showing a very favorable attitude towards each other. But at the time, it wasn't really a pleasant attitude by Trump government.
그 6월 10일 그 싱가포르 정상회담이 성사되는 과정에서 제 생각에는 트럼프 대통령이 무언가 학습 효과를 조금 어느 정도 얻었다. 이렇게 볼 수 있을 것 같아요. 그때도 회담이 스케줄이 잡혀 있었음에도 불구하고 전격적으로 트럼프 대통령이 이제 취소를 선언하고 마음이 바뀌면 언제든지 연락하라. 이런 식의 이제 승부수를 띄웠는데 바로 연이어서 이제 남북 정상회담을 통해서 김정은 위원장이 무언가 전향적인 태도를 보였다는 말씀이죠. 그러니까 그때 그 기억이, 그때 학습 효과가 아마 트럼프 대통령 머릿속에 남아있지 않았을까. 그래서 그 비즈니스맨 출신의 트럼프 대통령이 무언가 상대방을 다루는 데 있어서 본인이 얻은 그 개인적인 경험, 이런 것들이 굉장히 중요하다. 그래서 그거에 기반해서 볼 때 이번에도 한번 간다 그랬다가 안 가고 저쪽에서 어떻게 나오는지를 지켜보자. 그게 중요한 포인트는 뭐냐면 늘 그러면서도 김정은 위원장과의 개인적인 관계는 돈독하다, 좋다. 김정은 위원장에 대한 개인적인 칭찬, 또 뭐 안부 인사 이런 것들은 빼놓지 않고 트럼프 대통령이 이제 붙여놓는단 말씀이죠. 그러니까 어느 정도 완전히 북한을 배격하거나 이제 몰아세우는 방식이라기보다는 무언가 이 협상의 어떤 진전을 위해서는 뭔가 밀고 당기는 어떤 그런 그 전술을 트럼프 대통령이 쓴다고 봐야 되겠죠.
On the very next day, South Koreans were shocked to hear a second summit between President Moon Jae-in and Chairman Kim Jong-un. It was an unprecedented surprise meeting.
I think that North Korea and North Korean government and Chairman Kim wanted to check how far they would go with regard to their relations with the United States, and they probably were surprised by the cancellation from the President Trump. So maybe they want to consult with the President Moon, who has very close and frequent meeting with the U.S. government. So I think that it's very important signal that at that time Chairman Kim Jong-un wanted to meet President Moon with regard to its relations with the United States.
Well, President Trump does have a proclivity toward drama, and so, is the meeting happening or not, that sort of nail-biter very much fits his political style. And so in that sense, when he called it off, you still said, yeah, but is he maybe going to call it back on? And indeed he did in the end. So I think there is that element of theater in terms of would the meeting happen or not. I think another key element in Singapore was the role of President Moon Jae-in in South Korea. There was a communication breakdown, very harsh messages going back and forth between Washington and Pyongyang. Probably some things were getting lost in translation and misinterpreted. And so, of course, that's when Moon Jae-in met with Kim Jong-un for a surprise second summit on a Saturday afternoon. He basically went to North Korea and they met. And the messages that came out of that seemed to help, get Trump and Kim back on board on the same page.
I think the second meeting by Moon Jae-in and Kim Jong-un have worked towards the successful summit in Singapore. There were some issues to be coordinated between North Korea and the United States. And I think Moon Jae-in's efforts to bring Kim Jong-un into a forefront and having more favorable attitude towards the United States, I think have worked at the time. So I think whenever things happen between North Korea and the United States, it's important for South Korea to have a mediator role, important mediator role.
After a short roller coaster ride, the leaders of the United States and North Korea set aside their long hostile relations for a summit in Singapore.
When I was watching the developments of last year, although I took the tensions very seriously and I think we were entering a level of risk that we hadn't seen in a while, still at the basic political calculus, I think we were dealing with two leaders who are very into theater and drama, and they were enjoying taking the tension all the way up to a point, but then ultimately they want to bring it back, because war is not theater. War is very real, it's very ugly, and basically everyone would lose in a military conflict between North Korea and anyone, including the United States. And I think both leaders ultimately knew that, and so that was the logic that set up Singapore, was the theatricality of bringing the world to the edge and then pulling back and actually sitting down and talking. And it was a breakthrough. I mean, it's very difficult, especially for critics of Donald Trump, and there are many of them, and on most issues I would count myself as one of them. On the North Korea issue, you have to admit that he created a breakthrough we haven't seen in a very long time. And he opened a channel directly to Kim Jong-un that opens up opportunities in dealing with North Korea because it's such a top-down system that now we can get progress.
중도층 유권자들의 반응은 어땠냐면 그래도 대화를 통해서 안보 위기를 해소하려고 하는 트럼프 대통령의 노력은 할 만한 것이다 라고 하는 긍정적인 이 반응이 있었던 거죠. 그러니까 진보 쪽 유권자들은 진보 매체를 보면서 비판적이 되고 보수 유권자들은 보수 매체의 설명을 보면서 긍정적이 되는데 그럼 그 중간에 이 중도층 혹은 이 여성층 혹은 청년층 이런 쪽 유권자들 입장에서 볼 때는 그래도 뭔가 트럼프 대통령이 기존에 보이던 행보와는 달리 미국의 지도자로서 안보 위기를 해소하려고 독재자지만 만나서 악수하는 용기도 있고 전략도 있었다라고 판단을 했던 것 같아요.
So I think that one positive aspect of Singapore summit is that the leaders of the United States and North Korea met to resolve the nuclear issue of North Korea peacefully. But one aspect that has not been solved from the summit is that they have not agreed on the process of denuclearization.
Despite slow progress, the two sides had continued to hold working level talks. But suddenly, Secretary Mike Pompeo's planned visit to North Korea was canceled. There are different theories as to why.
하나는 그 비핵화 초기 조치의 내용이 미국이 기대하는 만큼 그런 수준이 도달하지 못했다는 이유가 있을 수 있고 또 북한이 요구하는 종전선언을 지금 해줬을 때 미국이 져야 될 부담 그런 것들을 아마 의식했을 수도 있다. 시기적으로 중국과 북한을 견제하기 위해서 지금은 좀 빠르다. 그렇게 볼 수도 있고 그런 여러 가지가 작용해서 자기 중간 선거에 가장 극대화할 수 있는 시점에서 뭔가 다시 추진할 가능성이 있다고 하겠습니다.
This was something very absurd from the perspective of the United States. I mean, they were focusing on, initial steps, declaring the North Korean nuclear capabilities and declaring the end of Korean War in the Korean Peninsula. But the contents of the letter sent by Kim Yong-chol to President Trump was very much out of sense at this time. So this is something that I think at this juncture, the U.S. would not feel any need to send Pompeo to Pyongyang. I mean, this is very absurd situation and atmosphere to talk with North Korean officials for these issues.
It's quite clear that had Secretary Pompeo gone to North Korea, he probably would go back empty-handed. Indeed, it's true, because meaningful concessions are not going to happen. But probably there would be at least some chances to negotiate some minor concessions, and in many cases, negotiations are better, even negotiations without any meaningful results, than lack of contact. So personally, I think that it was a mistake to cancel the trip, even though I sort of understand the logic why it was done.
So the cancellation of Pompeo's trip has added extra urgency to President Moon's agenda, and also because he and Kim Jong-un had agreed to declare the end of the Korean War by this year. And so President Moon also has that time pressure on his shoulders too. So we can imagine that President Moon might want to make a play or make a push and to meet with Kim Jong-un to try to figure out how to bring Trump and Kim, or Washington and Pyongyang, back together again.
Given that, Kim Jong-un showed some restraint. I mean, it was a deliberate choice to field the ICBMs or not, to kind of put them out there. And he chose not to. And it's at a moment when things are a bit stalled in the negotiations with the United States. And so that kind of restraint was a signal. And President Trump properly understood it as a signal, and tweeted back, "Thank you," to Kim Jong-un. So it's also very positive in the context of the two Koreas trying to change their relationship. It just gives some space for that. I think if we look at the parade, I wasn't there, but from the reporting on it, it looks like there was an emphasis on economic development, and that's something very important to keep one's eye on. Kim Jong-un announced a decision in April, a fundamental strategic change to focus no longer on improving the nuclear deterrent, half the economy now, it's 100% on the economy. And it appears he sent that signal in the parade, also in the revival of the mass games.
Neighboring countries are calculating their moves. China has been quickly narrowing the distance that it had created with North Korea by participating in US-led sanctions.
North Korea and China are really teaming up and playing a strong geopolitical game against the United States. It's very clear. North Korea-China relations have been extremely bad for the longest time, but we see them teaming up because of their mutual strategic interests vis-a-vis the United States. And so for them to team up like this is a very handy irritant for Washington. And we're seeing some of the reactions of that coming out of President Trump's tweets and his comments.
I'm sure some people might not like China, but they won't ever say so. So on China, you don't hear very much. On the United States, people are obviously very skeptical about the motives of the American government and about Donald Trump. They welcome, this is what they say anyway, they welcome the change. They are very thankful to the man in charge. They credit Kim Jong-un with all of the changes in US-North Korean relations, but they are very skeptical about the United States, and they think that, at least people I talked to thought that things may not continue to improve, and this may be just a flash in the pan.
Xi Jinping also need to coordinate with North Korea on how to deal with Trump. Trump is very harsh on China and also want to take initiative on the Korean Peninsula. China, I think, needs to think about some strategies to deal with Trump, to prevent Trump coming into the Korean Peninsula. For Xi Jinping to have more influence in the Korean Peninsula issues, I don't think China's unilateral policy would not work. There should be more coordination between North Korea and China, and that's something that Xi Jinping wants from his visit to Pyongyang.
the world's largest natural gas producer, Russia, is also welcoming the change that is happening across its border with North Korea.
Russia views North Korea as essentially as a troublesome, problematic neighbor which creates a great deal of problems, but because it's a neighbor, Russia has to find some ways to coexist with it. Sometimes there are some ideas about cooperation which are being discussed now once again, but frankly I'm very skeptical, because railway links is going to cost a lot of money, roughly say $10 billion US. It's not an amount of money the Russian railway company is willing to invest in an unpredictable and dangerous environment of Korean Peninsula, where at any moment we can face another crisis. If, say, South Koreans are willing to pay, great. Russians are not going to pay.
What interests Russia much is economic issues. As President Moon Jae-in focused North Korea and South Korea and Russia, three countries' economic cooperation is very important for Russia's economic interest. Railway cooperation, and also the gas cooperation, all the kind of things would be also good for North Korea's economic development, but also good for Russia's economic interest. So Russia is interested in the President Moon's proposal in the sense that it's good for the economic side of Russia.
다만 이제 그 러시아나 그 중국 입장에서 볼 때는 김정은 위원장의 북한이 너무 미국이 요구하는 식으로 끌려간다거나 아니면 그 비핵화를 너무 서두르는 그 과정에서 무언가 중국과 러시아가 소외된다거나 이런 문제들을 아마 동시에 생각할 겁니다. 그러니까 그런 차원에서 볼 때 굉장히 김정은 위원장과의 어떤 그 관계 이런 것들을 굉장히 그 부각시키려고 노력할 것이고, 우리도 이만큼의 스테이크홀더다라고 하는 이제 그 내용들을 자꾸 전달할 거고, 미국 쪽에 이제 주려고 하는 메시지는 북한 뒤에 이제 중국과 러시아가 이제 있다라고 하는 이제 그런 내용이 되겠죠.
Japan seems to be changing its stance as well. The seeds of denuclearization and peace seem to have survived the scorching summer heat and fierce typhoons. Will the seeds grow into flowers?
South Korean President Moon Jae-in is due to leave Seoul Airport at 8:40 a.m. Korea time on a flight bound for the North Korean.
September 18th, 2018. It's just another ordinary morning in Pyeongyang. Away from the city center, however, the airport is bustling with anticipation and excitement. Perhaps they're waiting for someone special. Chairman Kim Jong-un appears, but he is not the leading man today. The guest of honor had left Seongnam Airport early in the morning and had just arrived at Sunan Airport. President Moon Jae-in was the guest everyone was waiting for. He arrived in Pyeongyang in search of peace that had been promised in the spring.
적대 관계라고 할 수 있는 북한, 그 중에서도 가장 핵심이 북한 군부 아니겠습니까? 그 군부의 의장을 대표하는 그 의장대 지휘자, 지도자한테서 최고의 경칭이라고 할 수 있는 그 각하를 듣는 순간, 이게 새로운 남북 관계의 하나의 어떤 그 장을 여는 바로 그 순간에 우리가 와 있구나라는 것이 아주 그 실감할 수 있는 그런 울림이었습니다.
it was a rare welcome. While the whole world looked on, the two leaders came together once again.
우리가 뭐 가슴도 쓰리지만 한편으로는 우리 어깨가 좀 무겁다고 느낍니다. 그러나 뭐 우리 사이에 아주 이제 신뢰와 우정이 많이 쌓였기 때문에 그건 잘 될 거라고.
I think the most memorable moment is actually very simple. The Koreas are going to keep talking. I think if you look at history and you look at how big changes happen in history, it's not because of one summit or because of two summits or because there's some massive historical change. It's that the both sides that have a conflict agree to keep talking and working it out.
For the first time in history, the summit was held at the headquarters of the Workers' Party, the very heart of North Korea. One could only guess what issues were discussed during the first day of the summit.
We have known for a fairly long time that it's very difficult to move one step forward. It's easy to move backward very quickly, but we all know that dealing with North Korea is very difficult to move forward. So considering that, I think the summit this time shows the good progress, even though there are some areas that to be improved.
September 19th, day 2 in North Korea. The summit began early in the morning. Would there be news that everyone was waiting for? Amid building anticipation, President Moon Jae-in and Chairman Kim Jong-un take to the podium.
수십 년 세월 지속되어 온 처절하고 비극적인 대결과 적대의 역사를 끝장내기 위한 군사 분야 합의서를 채택하였으며 조선 반도를 핵무기도 핵 위협도 없는 평화의 땅으로 만들기 위해 적극 노력해 나가기로 확약하였습니다.
It was the first time Chairman Kim Jong-un said the word denuclearization.
전쟁 없는 한반도가 시작되었습니다. 남과 북은 처음으로 비핵화 방안도 합의했습니다.
It was more than anyone had expected.
I think President Trump actually got the news that he wanted. I think what he was looking for is that Kim was sincere when it comes towards denuclearization. I think Kim probably did today the minimum to show Trump that he is serious, but the minimum still works. It still moves the ball forward.
Maybe they didn't use the word denuclearization, but I mean, at the end of the last missile test in November, early December 2017, he said, you know, we completed our state nuclear force and now focus on economy, right? So I think that sent a signal to North Korean people that policy changed. But the fact that he actually said denuclearization and then Moon Jae-in in his speech talked about it as well, and that North Korean citizens heard that, that's pretty significant, I think, you know.
The story was breaking news in every country. U.S. President Donald Trump also welcomed the news, proposing U.S.-North Korea negotiations for the completion of denuclearization before the end of his first term in 2021.
We had very good news from North Korea, South Korea. They met and we had some great responses. We're making tremendous progress with respect to North Korea.
The U.S.-North Korea deadlock is being resolved.
That they should probably, you know, make some kind of gesture toward North Korea on the either on a peace agreement or, you know, some kind of step toward normalization of ties so that North Korea can make that next move. So I think, you know, yes, up till now, I think Moon Jae-in has done an outstanding, amazing job, really, of being this kind of, you know, interlocutor between North Korea and the United States. But the next step is going to be difficult, I think.
But I think Moon Jae-in can do it. I mean, he seems to have the trust of both sides, and that's the most important element of it.
The Pyongyang Joint Declaration contains more than denuclearization. It aims to resolve a wide range of issues, including military tension, economic cooperation, and separated families.
And I think the fact that they're moving forward on these economic projects and talking about opening Kaesong Industrial Zone again, and these rail and road projects, that's the path toward peace, and that's the path toward reconciliation. And I think that's very, very significant. And so I think in some ways they've kind of delinked the issue of the two Koreas making their own peace and the nuclear issue between the U.S. and North Korea. And in some ways separating those two issues is a good thing. So I think really it's a very significant summit.
There was something else that no one had expected. Chairman Kim agreed to visit Seoul within the year.
Kim Jong-un's going to come to Seoul, and he's going to bring all these people from North Korea, and they're going to be able to see what Seoul's like, and the dynamism of this city. I mean, and then hopefully that'll all be broadcast back to North Korea, and North Korea can see, what Seoul is really like. So, I mean, imagine that from the North Korean perspective. I mean, that's a huge thing. So, I think it's very, very positive.
The highlight of President Moon's visit was the event at Neungna-do May Day Stadium, attended by 150,000 Pyongyang citizens. North Korea put in a toned-down version of its propaganda production, The Glorious Country. North Korea's Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un broke the convention once again by personally introducing President Moon Jae-in to the public.
오늘의 이 순간 역시 역사는 훌륭한 화폭으로 길이 전할 것입니다. 우리 모두 문재인 대통령에게 열광적인 박수와 열렬한 환호를 보내줍시다.
It was a historic moment when the president of South Korea was addressing North Korean citizens in person. The speech on this day reaffirmed the significance of the Pyongyang Joint Declaration.
평양 시민 여러분, 북녘의 동포 형제 여러분, 평양에서 여러분을 이렇게 만나게 되어 참으로 반갑습니다.
President Moon openly confirmed to the 150,000 citizens of Pyongyang the agreement on denuclearization.
백두에서 한라까지 아름다운 우리 강산을 영구히 핵무기와 핵 위협이 없는 평화의 터전으로 만들어 후손들에게 물려주자고 확약했습니다. 평양 시민 여러분, 동포 여러분, 우리 민족은 우수합니다. 우리 민족은 강인합니다. 우리 민족은 평화를 사랑합니다. 그리고 우리 민족은 함께 살아야 합니다. 우리는 5,000년을 함께 살고 70년을 헤어져 살았습니다. 나는 오늘 이 자리에서 지난 70년 적대를 완전히 청산하고 다시 하나가 되기 위한 평화의 큰 걸음을 내딛자고 제안합니다.
문재인 대통령께서 집단 체조를 관람하신 후에 15만의 평양 시민들을 향해서 우리는 5,000년을 같이 살아왔는데 70년을 헤어져서 살았다라고 한 그 대목은 정말 깊은 울림이 있었습니다. 예.
I mean, in terms of memorable visuals, I think that visual is going to go down as probably one of the most historic. If we're going to go down this path of peace that Moon Jae-in has laid out, the only way to do that is through engagement. And one of the ways to engage the North Koreans is to engage the North Korean people and to help change their mindset. So Moon Jae-in's speech in front of 150,000 people in what is actually the biggest stadium on planet Earth, I think goes a long way towards that engagement. So I think it was a great thing and probably one of the highlights of the trip.
North Korea is definitely changing. The question is, how much will it change? Moreover, the international community has to come on board.
He's probably going to want sanctions relief. He might want certain investments in his country, and that might actually be why Moon Jae-in brought the heads of South Korea and other big South Korean companies to North Korea to probably talk a little bit about that. So I think Kim is sincere. I think in the months to come we're going to find out sort of what his bottom line is. I think most of it involves sanctions relief. I think a lot of it involves the exchange of embassies and exchange of diplomatic staff. Those are all very normal things when you're trying to change the relationship with an adversary. So I think it is all doable, and I think now is actually the time to do it.
September 20th, the final day of the visit. The original plan was to fly back to Seoul in the morning, but a surprise trip to Mount Baekdusan was added. The first country to be founded on the Korean Peninsula came out of Mount Baekdusan. For this reason, this mountain is a spiritual birthplace for Koreans, both south and north. Arirang, a song sung for thousands of years by Koreans, echoes over the sacred lake. The song has been sung in happy times as well as in sad times. Today, it is a happy Arirang. At the southern end of Korea lies the counterpart of Mount Baekdusan, another sacred mountain, Mount Hallasan. The water from this lake will be taken to Mount Hallasan in hopes that one day South Koreans will be able to climb Mount Baekdusan freely, and North Koreans Mount Hallasan. The whirlwind 3 days and 2 nights are over. The first step to peace was taken in the spring. It has led to this second step in autumn. The road ahead may still be long and bumpy, but Koreans want to believe there will not be another war on the Korean Peninsula. They pray there will not be another winter of Cold War on the Korean Peninsula.